and today we got to play Dulce. So this is a engine building game, kind of set on a farm with cafes.
Well,
anyway.
I don't think the farm has the cafes necessarily. But
they're next to the.
They're next to
they're
it.
Next to
when
it.
you play them on your board.
But before we get started, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell because board games are amazing, and that's what we do here at Legends of Nirvana. Now, Randy, can you tell more about this game?
Well,
I know
a little bit, not a lot, but I can tell a little more.
Well, it's from Stronghold Games.
Yes,
so.
it's a Stronghold game. Currently, there's not a Board Game Geek rating for it or a rank. It's a 2022 release. It's a
little new.
It hasn't released in retail over in the U.S. yet. It's expected sometime in September. 1 to 4 player game. Average length is 30 minutes. Age is 14 and up. Given, I mean, it's not like heavy material, but given the strategy in this, I think 14 is probably about right because it's going to take a lot of thought process and how to get the engines to work.
Yeah, maybe.
Designed by Julio E. Nazario, art by Justine Norte, published, as you mentioned, by Stronghold Games. It's not, as we mentioned, out, but it is available on the Geek Market. There's one for $45, like new, which the Geek Market's going to be going away in September, from what I understand. So if you want a copy, you better grab it fast if you want that one. The MSRP for it is $39.99, though. So if you wait until it comes out in September, you can get it for that. Or Miniature Market's got it. Well, it says for pre-order, but I think they're out of stock on their pre-orders for $29.99. It's not up on Card House's website yet, so I don't know what their price would be. But Miniature Market, you keep an eye on that, you can probably get the cheapest at the moment.
So let's then talk about quality of components. So basically, you've got cards.
Yeah, they're not linen finished. They're just little square-shaped cards.
And mini meeples.
Yep, and mini chicken.
And a mini chicken. The chicken's cute. And then you get...
it doesn't stand up.
Well, some of them did, but most of them don't. They don't need to.
And then you've got just these little plastic cubes. Nothing
special.
And then the player board is cardboard. It's nothing special.
Yeah, it's tiny. It's about 4 by 4 inches.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give this a 5. There's nothing really spectacular here, but it's all functional.
Yeah, I think 5's probably about right. I mean, the meeples, they are custom shaped, but they're tiny and they don't stand
the
up.
farmer,
at least the chicken doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the chicken.
Yeah.
What are you guys thinking?
I'm gonna give it a 6 because the chicken is cute.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay.
I was actually thinking very similarly. Because you don't get a chicken very often as a meatball. And so, it's a little, they went a little above.
All right, fair enough. All right, so then let's talk about the theme. So the theme seems to be that you are in the sweet business. And you are building farms to get some of those sweet ingredients and then therefore transforming them into donuts, crumb cakes, macaroons, puddings, all these different kind of things.
Yet all your shops are specialized in just one of those. Yeah. You have a shop that sells toffee and a shop that sells donuts, which I guess that one I can understand.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes people specializing, then, come on, a good donut shop. I mean, really.
It's
a peanut caramel store that's specifically peanut caramels.
Listen, it matters. I don't know why it matters, but it does. Yes. Okay, so that's kind of the theme. I think it's cute. I think it's sweet. I think the artwork is okay. Is it fantastic? No, it's okay. I don't know what to give it a score though, Wes. What are you guys thinking?
I mean, it's definitely there. It's not. I think it's layered on. It could be anything. You're producing widgets and you're sending them to a widget store. Mm-hmm. But and it's a fun theme. It's something that is going to be appealing to most everybody that's able to eat sweets.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's a fun theme, but it's not heavy at all. I'll probably give it a 6 because it is a fun theme, but. It's just not going to be something that's that important to the game.
Yeah, I mean, you could put just about any kind of packaging on it, and it'd be the same game. You could put it in like a medieval times, or you could put it in, like you said, like widgets, all kinds of stuff. So I don't think the theme is important to the game. It's a cute theme, and I don't think the theme takes away from the game either.
Yeah,
Which I think is extremely important. So I'm going to say it's 6.5.
Okay.
I'm right around it as 6 as well. I think it could have been a little more on theme if your resource cubes were shaped like the item or something like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think I'm at a 5.5 on theme because it is there. It's cute. It's fine, but like it could be anything. And
I will say I do love the colors of the box. I think the box is very attractive.
yeah.
So it actually lured me to the game because I didn't really know what this game was. I had it on my investigate list at Gen Con, and when I saw it, I was like, oh, that looks interesting. And then I saw it was an engine builder, and I'm like, sold.
Yeah. So what did you think about the rulebook?
All right, so the rule book is 8 pages long, small rule book. It is, basically it's got a nice cover. It goes in, got the objective of the games on the half cover, I guess you'd call it, but it does look like a nice cover. The components and setup are all just on the first page. Yeah, the gameplay of this is super easy to pick up.
Yeah.
The hard part is just mastering the moving of your resources because your resources can be used multiple times, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me. I don't know what they're recycling into the next food.
The byproducts.
Go to the main store. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to eat that secondary food.
well, no, it makes sense because if you use whole peanuts for something,
Mm-hmm.
and then whatever's left over you crush as a topping for something,
Yeah.
and then whatever's left over you mash into peanut butter.
Well, yeah, that's what I said. The end result is butter, but
Yeah.
I'm just envisioning it being recycled, and I don't want to think about that.
Oh my god. Well, and it's like chocolate. You just remelt it and do something else. You just keep,
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to understand rule book. It was easy to pick up and teach. We read through it in matter of a few minutes, and we're able to pick it up with pretty much no question whatsoever.
Honestly, the cheat sheet is
and the
where
cheat
it's at.
sheets are really good.
I didn't listen to a word of the instructions, and I just read the cheat sheet.
Because the cheat sheets are so good, I'll probably go ahead and give it an 8.5.
Yeah.
Well, and we didn't need the tiebreaker, but they had a really nice tiebreaker in there too. So.
Yep. I'm going to give the rule books a 9 because I didn't have to listen to a word, and I just had to have one of
And
these
you
suckers.
didn't.
I didn't.
Certainly didn't.
No.
Yeah, I think it was really easy to understand, even when I phased out for a moment, which I don't normally do, but sometimes I do, and I was able
It's
to
getting a little late, guys.
so
So,
I think
For you old people, for us youngins, this isn't late at all.
That's easy.
listen, I'm an old woman inside my soul, okay? All right, I'm an old soul. All right, so let's talk about the actual gameplay. So, there is going to be one starter player. In this case, it was Randy. Of
We call it a
course.
starter player. It's kind of the driver that goes
Yeah.
in.
So basically, he has his deck of cards, as does everybody else, and he's going to shuffle his and
Remove 4. There's
and-
24 cards in the deck. You're going to shuffle and pull 4 at random out.
Okay, and then he's going to reveal the first one, and then everyone's going to take their version of that card, and they have 3 different options that they can choose from. They can either play it as a cafe, so eventually you can use the resource or the place to actually build some of these items, right? And you'll need these resources to do it. Or you can flip it over and place the field on your board and populate those with crops. Or you can decide, you know what, I'm going to discard that card and I'm going to pick a row or column and pick up those resources on my fields. Now, this is where it gets a little complicated. So when I pick up the resources, I immediately put them into play, okay? So
Well, first of all, when you pick them, they're freshest at that point. So they're a level 3 resource. So
correct. So you're going to fill them. So in this case, I had this. What else did I
They
have?
mark the levels of your different ingredients by rings. So there's 3 rings with a black border. That means you need a level 3. You can place a level 3 on any spot, but you ideally want to put it on something that you're going to get the most bang for your buck at a level 3.
So I was able to place all of these on level 3 areas on different across my board. But then So I'm gonna then get 3 victory.
Well, you generate them one at a time. You choose a store to produce.
So for example, I will do this coffee. Okay, I'll get my point for that. But then I have a second ring coffee that I can then take it to, and I'm gonna right. So that this building is complete. Okay, so then I get another victory point. All right, and so I have a 2-level coffee, so it can go to a 1-level coffee, which is down here. Okay. And then I have a level 3 peanut. So I don't have a level 2 peanut, but I do have a level 1. So I'm going to take it over here and place it over here just in case. Okay. Then I would go over here, another level 3 peanut. But guess what? I can't actually take my peanut anywhere. So the chicken is hungry and it will eat it. Okay. So I'll increase my chicken by 1 and I'll put the cube back in the resource thing. All right, so then I've got a level 3 cocoa. I'm going to take it to this level 2. Again, this will trigger. And then the level 1 coffee bean is no good to me anymore. Then this 2 could go into 1. I do not have a level 1. So then again, my chicken will eat it. And that be that. Okay, so
if the chicken reaches any increment of 3, so once it gets to 3, you can spend the 3 on the chicken to get an egg, which is a wild resource that you can apply to any one of your spaces.
Yep, that would have been useful information. That's what happens when you don't listen to the rules.
That's right.
But the egg does not produce any byproducts, so it's only a one use and done, and then it's gone.
Yep.
Again, but very important.
Yes.
Would have been useful information.
I think I ended up getting 3 or 4 victory points just from using eggs.
Yeah.
I got more than that.
Yeah. I was very focused on the orientation of my cards on the harvest. I thought that was really cool, and I spent most of my time optimizing that. Got lots of resources, but
so let's talk about that. We kind of breezed over the farming aspect. So basically, if I did decide to actually put it down and repopulate, orientation does matter. So in this particular instance, I have 2 coffees and 2 peanuts. So I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to try to match this, and I'm in luck. So in this case, I'm only matching the cocoa, and because it's matching the one below, I actually get to put 2 down. But I only then get to put 1 on the other 2 because those don't match. Okay, so then that's how you populate your fields, or just straight up.
But if there were resources already on the fields that are being covered, the chicken eats those resources too. So it's also going to advance your chicken, and you get the benefit of putting 2 on top.
Correct.
So you're not losing things by covering.
Yeah. So don't worry. All right. So overall, what did you guys think about it? What were you guys' thoughts?
I thought it was pretty great. I honestly really like this. It's simple enough, but complex enough. Because the engines that you're building, you really have to think about how you're building them. Also,
you don't have to, trust me.
You don't have to if you don't want to win. But as you're laying them down, and you got to, and I like that you have to make some hard decisions.
Yeah.
Am I going to make this a field? Well, I do want those resources, but is it time for me to harvest what I've got there and have my engine run? And you got to decide, how many of these do I want to be buildings? How many do I want? And I just like the simple yet complex, the simpleness yet complexity of it. That's to me just sings.
So give it a score.
I'm going to give it a 9.
Oh, okay. What are you thinking, Melissa?
I did really enjoy it, and I thought that the chicken aspect with the egg and everything was a good idea. It took me a little while to get into because I didn't put enough factories that used peanuts in the beginning, but I had a lot of peanuts in my field, so that kind of got me. So I realized at that point that it's more involved than I originally gave it credit for. But it is a lot of fun. It's going to be different every time you play because you have 24 cards. You take 4 out at random, so it's always
the order's going to be different. Yeah, the cards. Yeah.
So I would give it Probably an 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
I thought it was very cleverly designed. I love the harvest. I got focused on the harvest. It was like, well, this one won't fit in my field, so I'm going to go and build a building from it. I didn't spend a lot of time thinking about the buildings, and now I'm kind of kicking myself because I had a lot of stuff that didn't have downgradable locations to go to. Now, one of the things I didn't like about it was the way they designed the board. Because you've got the little meeple on the inside track and the chicken on the outside. It's easy to bump the table, bump the board, and things that you're going to lose where the chicken is in particular. And not to mention, you could bump it and move your meeple. I would definitely lay them down. I wouldn't stand them up just because it'd make it easier for them to fall and then lose your place. Especially since you're putting cards on that board to play in the middle.
They do recommend laying the chicken down.
They recommend the chicken. They didn't mention the meatball, but I would do both. But yeah, it bothers me about the chicken in particular because the board, I kept wanting to turn on the table on me. And, so that piece I didn't like. But apart from the functionality of that, I thought the game was extremely well designed. For being as light as it is. At first, when I got out and saw the rule book and saw how simple, I was like, oh, it says with Ninja Builder, this is looking a little disappointing. But once I got playing it, I saw how that worked. And I was like, wow, there's a lot more to this than I thought there was. And the fact that I focused on one aspect and totally missed the functionality of not just choosing them wisely, your buildings, but then how do you get them and use them again? Because I was thinking you could only use the building one time. And it's like, no, you can send the peanut level 3 to the peanut level 2, clear it out, and if you choose wisely which order you're doing things in while you can get a lot more bang for your buck. So there's a lot of throughput knowledge. I mean, just if you're almost like running a factory.
Yeah.
It's quite literally a very layered game.
Yeah. So given that, I'm kind of between the two. I'm on 8.5, I think.
I guess I'm a little bit on a different wavelength. No, I thought it was fine. I thought there is some complexity to it. There was definitely, do I plant? Do I actually pull my resources? Do I have the buildings I need to kind of plot this all out? So overall, I thought it was a decent engine builder. So I didn't love it as much as you guys. I don't know. But I do think it was actually a really solid game. So I'm probably going to give this a 7.5. So.
All right. So we range from 7.5 to 9.
Yeah.
So not bad. So definitely check it out if you like engine builders, especially a little bit kind of, what would you say this, light to medium?
I'd say it's, definitely light to a medium game. The rules themselves are pretty almost light, but the complexity of the actions and the choices are, I'd say, where light to medium falls. But just learning it, it's definitely something you could learn. Almost as an entry level game. Yeah,
and it does not take long to play.
No, it's definitely the 30 minutes was accurate.
When you first said there would be 20 rounds, I thought this is going to take forever, but it surprisingly was very short.
Yeah,
and it would have been even shorter if we didn't have to.
No, I don't think it was just me. The thing is it's a harvest round. If somebody does a harvest, you gotta have to pause for a minute because there's a lot of thinking and ordering and
yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We had an absolute blast today. Come hang out with us again. We'll catch you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.